Kāli temple at Dakshineśwar. At that time there lived in Calcutta a rich widow named Rani Rasmani, belonging to the Sudra caste, and known far and wide not only for her business ability, courage, and intelligence, but also for her largeness of heart, piety, and devotion to God. She was assisted in the management of her vast property by her son-in-law Mathur Mohan. In 1847 the Rani purchased 20 acres of land at Dakshineśwar, a village about 4 miles north of Calcutta. Here she created a temple garden and constructed several temples. Her Ishta, or chosen ideal, was the Divine Mother, Kāli. The temple garden stands directly on the east bank of the Ganges. The northern section of the land and a portion to the east contain an orchard, flower gardens, and 2 small reservoirs. The southern section is paved with brick and mortar. The visitor arriving by boat ascends the steps of an imposing bathing ghat, which leads to the Chandni, a roofed terrace, on either side of which stand in a row 6 temples of Shiva. East of the terrace and the Shiva temples is a large court, paved, rectangular in shape, and running north and south. 2 temples stand in the center of this court, the larger one, to the south and facing south, being dedicated to Kāli, and the smaller one, facing the Ganges, to Radhakanta, that is, Krishna, the consort of Radha. 9 domes with spires surmount the temple of Kāli, and before it stands the spacious Natmandir, or music hall, the terrace of which is supported by stately pillars. At the northwest and southwest corners of the temple compound are 2 nahabats, or music towers, from which music flows at different times of day, especially at sunup, noon, and sundown, when the worship is performed in the temples. 3 sides of the paved courtyard, all except the west, are lined with rooms set apart for kitchens, storerooms, dining rooms, and quarters for the temple staff and guests. The chamber in the northwest angle, just beyond the last of the Shiva temples, is of special interest to us, for here Sri Ramakrishna was to spend a considerable part of his life. To the west of this chamber is a semicircular porch overlooking the river. In front of the porch runs a footpath, north and south, and beyond the path is a large garden and, below the garden, the Ganges. The orchard to the north of the buildings contains the Panchavati, the banyan, and the bel tree, associated with Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual practices. Outside and to the north of the temple compound proper is the kuthi, or bungalow, used by members of Rani Rasmani's family visiting the garden, and north of the temple garden, separated from it by a high wall, is a powder magazine belonging to the British government.